Welcome back to Hope for Your Life, where we believe there's always hope, no matter what circumstance you find yourself in. In the last episode, we talked about having purpose, living with purpose. We want to delve a little deeper into that this time by talking about how do we find our purpose, finding your purpose in life. And I want to explore that by just asking you a few questions that can kind of help guide us to how do we find purpose in our life. So the first question I have for you is, what do you care deeply about? What do you care deeply about? What is it that keeps you up at night? What do you desperately want to see happening in your world, in your society, in your community, in your family, your personal or professional life? So for example, maybe you have a real desire to see the dysfunction in your family come to an end. You want your family to have healthier relationships. You want to see that in your family. And so rather than just going along with things, keeping quiet, avoiding issues, you get the idea, I want to plan some more family gatherings. I want to lead out in that. I want to take the lead in planning monthly or periodic family meetings where we talk about issues, just share our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, and put things out on the table. Maybe you want to initiate that, or you get the urge to lead out in that. And that's an example of a sense of purpose growing right out of your deep concern for an issue. So sometimes, again, when we think about things that we really care about, that really kind of stay on our minds and nag and gnaw us, that may be an indication that there's a purpose behind that. There's a cause that I need to get behind. There's something that I need to do to address that concern, okay? So pay attention to the concerns you have. Things that trouble you sometimes are life's way of saying, hey, I got a purpose for you. I've got an assignment for you. Okay, so that's the first question. Here's another question. What are you good at? What are you really good at? And I'm not just talking about, those envied talents like singing and athletics or science and math and all of those types of things. What about just things like hospitality or friendliness or listening, organizing, things like that, things that we probably wouldn't even consider a special ability or talent. Anything that you're good at, I want you to take inventory of that, right? Just actually write it down. And not just things that you feel you're good at, but even things that other people tell you you're good at, because that has credibility too. Sometimes, we don't even recognize things that we're gifted at or that we feel maybe we don't feel that it's a big deal, but others notice, hey, you really have a great smile, or you really have a great sense of humor. Write those things down too. Really take an inventory of it, and then ask yourself 2 questions about each of those special abilities or things that you're good at. Number 1, do I want to develop this more? Do I want to develop this more? And number 2, is there something that I want to use this gift to do more purposefully? Is there something that I want to be more purposeful about on this list, right? So for example, you love art, right? And you do it good, right? But you just do it as a hobby. Well, in this exercise, you're going to look at that and you're going to say, well, is that something I want to develop more? Do I want to maybe take some art classes or study this subject more to hone and broaden my skills? And then the next question you would ask is, is there something purposeful or intentional that I want to do with my art? Whether it's teaching art or illustrating books or art therapy or any other range of things, is there something that I want to do more intentionally with this gift or this skill, right? And so when you do that kind of exercise, already you're being more intentional, which leads you to a more purposeful way of thinking, right? So try that. What am I good at? And that when you really take inventory of that and think about the things that you do that are good, that may be pointing you in the right direction toward purpose, if you want to develop that and missionize that. Okay? Okay, here's the third question. Have you had a painful or traumatic experience that still affects you? You know, most of us, I would dare say all of us, have had something in our lives that has been life-changing, that has impacted us in a way. And, you know, the saying is true. Pain can often lead to purpose. Pain is often a catalyst for purpose, right? So we've heard stories all the time of people who have experienced trauma, maybe have been in an accident and lost their mobility, but they have somehow found a way to turn that into purpose, to encourage others who have gone through the same experience. Well, all of that stuff is real. You know, when you have gone through something, you have come through, you've experienced something that has marked you, has changed your life, and you've grown from that. You've learned how to cope with that. If you have a desire or an urge to help others to learn how to cope with that same thing that you've experienced, right? That is a sense of purpose that grows out of your pain, your experiences, things that have affected you and changed your life, right? So just think about that. Even sometimes we go through things that are unfortunate, that are tragic, and we can get into a state of bitterness, we can get into a state of anger, and all of that's natural. But why not think about it and say, how can I turn this into something positive? How can I turn this into purpose? Are there other people who have experienced this that I can help and support in some way, right? And we know whole organizations have grown out of this kind of sense of purpose, right? The last thing I want to put to you is not really a question, but sometimes it's not a matter of discovering your purpose, but simply rediscovering your purpose. You know, sometimes we whether it's a career, maybe you launch into a career or some type of work, and you went into that with your eyes wide open. This is what I want to do with this. This is the goal that I have. These are the things that I want to see change as a result of my work. You go in with that purposeful mindset, and then it just becomes monotonous. It becomes routine. It just becomes a way of earning a living, and you kind of lose sight of that purpose. Well, sometimes we need to step back and just kind of reflect on what are the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing. And sometimes just that why question will re-spark, right, and reignite that sense of purpose. So sometimes it's not just about, hey, let me find something new to do. It's about refocusing even on what you're doing right now and saying, why am I doing this? Remembering the reasons why you're doing it. If you're a nurse, think about those patients that have gained relief and comfort in a very uncomfortable time, very painful, uncertain time, from your smile, your attention, your care towards them and their families. You know, just think about that. Reflect on that. If you're a teacher, think about those students who started their year low motivation, low grades, but over the course, with your encouragement, over the course of that class, they learn how to do their work. They learn how to gain confidence and to leave there knowing that they can achieve success. You know, think about those kinds of things and the impact that your work and what you're doing is already having. And that may reignite in you that sense of purpose that has kind of been lost, okay? So those are just a few things, again, to rediscover or discover purpose so that we can live, again, not just this routine, monotonous life, just kind of making it through, but we can live with excitement and joy and vigor, because we know that we're living for a cause. We know that we have meaning. You know, if you're one of those who does not think that you're here by accident, that you're here to make a contribution to the world, then certainly it's worth you raising these questions and rediscovering or discovering your purpose in life. We'll talk more about this another time. Again, we are looking forward to the next time we have our episode. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel there. Click that notification bell in the corner so that you can be alerted to when the next episode is coming up. And we do have some very important episodes that you're going to want to tune into coming up. So please hit that bell so you can be alerted. And of course, if you want to share a topic that you'd like for us to discuss, hopeforyourlife.com. Go there to our website and you can submit your suggestions there. We'll see you next time.